sometimes it has nothing to even do with the parts. They even criticize just the way I look. Can you, right? Maybe I don't have a bright enough smile. Maybe my head's stupid. Whatever it may be. At the same time, I don't understand, what does that have to do with me selling parts?
It's a bit of a backhanded compliment, though, in a weird way, that people are that focused on you. Like, people are focused on you, man. Like, honed in. I know everyone, but people watching this who know what I'm talking about, like
sweaters for sale, the glasses for sale. I guess if you guys want it, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird though, man. It's a weird thing. Like, you're everywhere all the time.
Hey, I'm selling Matt Montgomery shirts are pre-worn, tearing out.
Someone's going to steal that, man. They're going to start it up. They start up a website,
Yeah, hey, this is the socks Matt wore this day, taking off this part. I mean, you never know.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of the Riggs Vintage Mazda podcast, where our mission is to travel the globe bringing Mazda Rotary worldwide community together. We chat to drag racers, show car enthusiasts, performance car shop owners, parts dealers, backyard engine builders, and engine tuners. Today's guest is a rather large personality within the worldwide Mazda Rotary community. Often misunderstood, misinterpreted and misconstrued, he always seems to find himself involved in all sorts of hot water and controversy, known for acquiring some of the rarest RX-7 parts to ever be produced. He attracts hardcore enthusiasts, newbies to the scene, and a large number of jealous individuals that can only dream of obtaining such a vast collection. Based solely on the fact that he is one of only 3 to 4 consistent full-time Mazda Rotary used parts sellers only on the planet, makes him one of the very few people within this community that I myself can relate to. After many years of following his immense presence online, I felt like it was time to provide him with a platform to speak his mind, lay it all out on the table and address the critics. Today, we are in Salt Lake City, sitting down with the one and only Matt Montgomery. How's it going, man?
It's going. Another day.
Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yep, anytime.
Yeah, like I was surprised when I flew into Salt Lake City. I wasn't expecting what I saw. As far as the nightlife went last night, like I went out on a Thursday night and it was bopping. Like I thought it would have been a bit quiet, but there was lots happening.
Yeah, the inner city's pretty live.
You don't spend much time down in Salt Lake because you're north though, eh?
No, there's not much out here. Yeah. I mean, I think the more south you go, you can find more. I mean, all I'm doing is looking for cars and parts all day long. So,
but like Vegas is not too far away. What's that? 5 hour? 7 hour drive?
Yep, I've been there a couple times already.
Yeah, and some of the cars you're finding from like desert areas where it's real dry.
I try to look for cars that have the least amount of rust, but it's hard to determine because a lot of the cars I buy are sight unseen. Yeah, so I kind of go. Yeah, it's always a gamble.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's crazy. Like you're definitely getting a lot, and you're definitely got a big presence online. So where did it all start for you in the Mazda game, and why did you choose the Mazda parts?
So initially, my first car was a Mazda when I was 17 years old, and I had that for 10 years. It was an S4 NA car, and I beat it up really, young teenage kid, just like anybody else. And so when I stopped doing that, I think I was like 24 or 25. I just was working regular 9 to 5, just like everybody else, warehouse work. I got pretty sick one day, left that. I saw an RX-7 locally. I was like, hey, maybe we can buy it. It was for cheap. Mm-hmm. Went and got it, came, and when I picked it up, it had all sorts of issues. I was like, uh-oh. When I bring it home, we fixed the issues, and I sold that one. And so I was like, all right, I got the bug. I bought more, and I was buying more, and every time I bought them, I didn't realize how many issues were coming about to it. I was like, well, what happens if I part one out and see how it goes? And so when I initially started partnering out, I had people actually helping me, telling me what the current prices are on a lot of these. And
what
initially,
year are we talking here?
So it was a 1988 Mazda 10th anniversary.
What year are we talking? Were you doing did you start that?
2019.
2019. Gotcha. Yeah. So 6 years,
Yeah. And so when I did that, I bought one and the guy was like, oh, this is the best deal. You're going to get a nice clean one. And then, because the pictures he's shown weren't actually what I got.
Yeah. Pretty common story, eh?
Oh, yeah. And I, like I said, I purchased a little over 160 RX-7s, and I would say 90% of them I've been this way to where they tell me, this is a great car. I'm like, all right, this is going to be great. And when I bring it in, I used to just do a lot of transporters, like when I first started before
Third party.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I did that for so long. I did that for about 4 or 5 years before I started actually going get them. But back to where I was going back to where my first one I parted out was a 10th anniversary because the guy stated, this is how it is. And then I did a compression test and the motor was blown.
Yeah.
And then the more I went into it, I found out there was more rust.
Yeah.
More, you could kind of Fred Flintstone the car.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm not going to ever recoup my money back. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, maybe if I start just parting this out, maybe people want parts. And come to find out, people did. Because they're doing the same thing where they buy cars, right? Just like how me, and they come out that it'd be in worse condition than what stated. And so where someone can't,
so they got bit as well, and then they're looking for their parts.
I think that's a lot going on in this community where people buy cars and what's being stated is not actually the actual, condition of the car.
Yeah, because you can't see it in person.
Well, not in that. There's a lot of things that are hidden, right? Because you have plastics on there and you can't see.
Yeah. Storage bins.
Yes, that's a big one, right? Once you start removing it and you start seeing it, like one day, like some people want to relocate the battery and they put it there, you start seeing rust build up all around there and you're like, oh, no.
Yeah. There's like 5 or 6 really problem parts, say like the rear wheel arches and with the sandwich effect where the steel creates like a sandwich, and especially on the FBs.
Oh, yeah, and the FCs have one where they have the extra rim in there. If you go on the bottom, there's a hole, and that builds up rust. Anywhere that has fluctuating weather, it's going to have it. There's condensation that starts building up, and then you start building rust. Yeah. And most people don't look underneath the car when they get it.
You get it on a hoist. Well, on top of the fuel tanks, another spot, hey?
Yeah, and another thing is people don't discuss is a lot of these cars, especially in the U.S., I've noticed a lot of them have tons and tons of miles, right? Especially the NA cars. So I kind of stopped getting NA cars because you don't know the actual condition. Like, okay, this car has 100 and something thousand miles. Well, I have all the receipts taken care of it. Okay, but how did you drive it the whole time? You were driving. Were you redlining it the whole time? Were you dumping it each time? Yeah. And I've and I kind of stay away from that because after a while you'll start seeing like the heat cycles on the plates and the irons would just be toast, and I would never recoup back the money.
Yeah, the discoloration.
Where it's kind of like a rainbow.
Yeah. Are you pulling a lot of engines apart, or are you usually just selling them whole with good compression? Or
it depends.
Yeah,
it depends. Like I said, I don't like to sell people bad things.
There's some good parts on like the NA water pump housings. Those are really hard to find in good condition. Stuff that's easily bolted on. There's some good stuff, but it's always a gamble, right?
Yes. So doing this every single day is a gamble.
Yeah.
It's a big risk, and big reward depends on how it goes.
Yeah.
Right. Just like you go out there, you get these cars. You can never see the outcome of what's gonna be the final, like the breakdown of that car. Yes, I can look at a car and tell you what I think it's worth, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it's gonna sell or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know about like certain shells too. You probably come around this when you get them. The condition starts getting worse the more you start looking at things. You start, right? Yeah. Like the wiring. You'll see the wiring on a bunch of them. I don't know how many where people just kind of Jimmy rigged it to where they don't know what they're doing, which maybe it's no fault to their own, but at the same time, it causes major problems where I don't have 10,000 hours per each car or wherever it may be, right? Just that many hours per day to look at every single wiring issue. It would take us forever to diagnose it. And I can't restore every single car, or I would never be able to run a business.
Yeah, so you're dealing with a lot of people, and you're dealing with a lot of purists and enthusiasts. How has the general community been to deal with when they're actually purchasing parts off you? And are you generally dealing with good people, or are you dealing with some headaches?
I would say the mass majority is really, they appreciate what I do, right? Because they understand it. But then you have the same individuals that will come on the groups, and all they do is start issues and problems.
And generally, what is it that's starting it?
Well, they want full control of how I conduct my business, as in they state that I'm a price gouger, I'm a scammer, because in the way of thinking is it's a democracy where everybody gets to vote, and that's how the price is going to be. But that's not how it is at all, right? At the end of the day, it's our parts, it's our cars, and we get to say, regardless if it sells or not, it can sit in that same storage, wherever it may be, right? The shelf for the next 10 years, it's mine. And if I decide I want to destroy it, or if I want to just get rid of it, who's to say I can't? There's no rules or regulations saying me or you or any other seller, this is what we have to do. And it's a free market. And a lot of people get upset with that. A
lot of people take it to heart, and a lot of people take it personally. But a regular comment that I see on your posts is people calling you out for your pricing, right? On ultra rare items, though, that's like it's like telling Pepsi that they're selling their cans of Pepsi for too much when all they do is sell Pepsi all day, right? I don't think they've got any right to tell you what you can sell your parts for, especially when you're selling something rare like bronze glass from a 10th Annie. Oh, your price is too high. Okay, so where are you comparing Matt's prices to? Like, who else is selling 10th Annie glass, and what is their price? Search around, no one on the planet is selling that part. So it's the same across all industries. To get the valuation of what a piece or a property or a car or something's worth, you compare it to other pieces of property or cars that are selling at the time to get an evaluation. But you can't get an evaluation on some of the parts you're selling because no one else is selling them. So I always find it odd when people call you out on your parts pricing.
Yeah, I don't understand that whole logic behind that, right? If I had a it's called Urabini wing from Japan. So they only made a certain amount. It's super rare, and it's fiberglass. And I had brand new ones inside, and they're wrapped up in packages for when initially they made them. And I was trying to sell those, and I just threw out a price. So I've never seen one sell before, so I just threw out $2,000. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're crazy! You're not ever going to sell it." And I've had customers buy them, and so I'm like, all right, if they're going to buy it at this price, why can't I keep on selling at this price? But people don't like that. They don't like it when something sells for more because they want the prices lower to benefit them.
But that doesn't make sense. Well, what's more when there is nothing else?
No, there isn't. And you're exactly right.
It's like if you wonder why gold is so expensive, right? After all, it's just a rock. We kick rocks down the street, but it's a really rare rock and it looks nice, like it's at least with RX-7 parts, you can do something with it, like it's weird how something like gold is worth so much money when it's just a rock,
And that's how I think about these cars. To me, at the end of the day, it's just a car.
Yeah.
You can't take it with you when you ultimately go. It's just a car. And I value my time and my personal life more than a car. At the end of the day, anything's for sale, right? Where it's just metal.
Yeah.
My time with my family will always come first before these cars. And people ask me all the time, why don't you have a project car? And I'll start it, and then I realize I'm just spending so much money on this car, wasting my time when I can be spending it with my family.
Yeah, and people are saying like you should be what was it? Contributing to the community more, or what were you saying? Like donating?
Yes, they want me to basically lower my prices, or even give them ridiculous. So if I have something for $500, whatever it may be, some people are like, oh, you should just give it to people for $100 because you're helping the community. But at the same time, if I thought that way, my business would close immediately. I don't know if you've seen, but I've seen myself, sellers come and go because they've tried to do it that way, and they've all failed. They've all failed because they can't put money back into their business to buy more cars or parts.
That's like telling a home builder to build a house for someone for free.
Exactly.
You know, but these people that are making comments like to you don't realize that there are actually a couple of people on this planet that do this for a full-time living, as a full-time business. I don't think people can comprehend that this is actually a full-time business, because most people just sell parts off their shelf in the garage.
Yeah, and they want to, and then they downgrade. I mean, they try to tell me, "Oh, that's all you are. You sell parts for a living." Like, I don't understand why people feel the need to tell someone what they do for a living. I'm not harming nobody, right? No. I'm not taking people's money against their will.
No, and that's another weird thing. Like when people use the word rip-off. Like a rip-off is when you're taking someone's money against their will.
Yeah, they call me
selling something for a high price.
They call me scammer. A lot of them call me scammer just because I'm not going based on whatever's going on in their life, right? Let's say they're not making enough in their job, and I'm not trying to be rude. That has nothing to do with me. I can't tell them what they can spend their money on. And the thing is, to me, these cars are just entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Where you watch TV, where you want to go to a club or go out and drinking, you're going to spend that money regardless. This is the same thing with this car. Nobody's forcing you to buy these parts at any given time, or my car, anything. And people have a hard time understanding that. And I don't know what else to do. Just, sometimes I'll go on the groups and I can just post, "Hey, how's it going?" And people just get mad.
Yes, that's right, mate. You can say, "Oh, it's a lovely day today," and then everyone's just like, Matt Montgomery. It's interesting, man. How many people are following you? It really is. It's crazy, And I'm the first one to admit I've never I'm on these groups more than probably anyone in the world, because it's what we do full time, and we're members of hundreds of Mazda Rotary groups. And I see you pop up all the time, like constantly. But I've never, ever, ever seen you start something or instigate something. Like, I've never seen you start a fight, but you're always in a fight.
I think that's over the years of just dealing with it. And I think anybody in my type of situation, after just being ridiculed, being told you're a scammer, you just whatever they say about me, and unfortunately, there's a lot of admins out there do not monitor their groups, and they let this continue over and over. And I tell them, hey, there's an issue here, and in your group it states that you have to follow these rules, but then they don't. There's a lot of admins themselves, they can't follow the rules, right? They're actually encouraging that type of behavior in their certain groups. So I've actually been, I think you stated too, that I've been kicked out of groups because I'm defending myself. And if I say anything that they don't like, you're gone, Matt. And the whole time I'm arguing with like 40, 50 people. And it's always the same ones. It's never new persons. It's always the same ones that have no intention of even buying anything. Their main purpose is to go on there and start issues. And you try to, inform the admins to try to do things. And like I said, I'm not trying to play victim, but at the same time, I have every right to sit there and defend myself, especially when they're trying to shut down my business. There's people that will go on there and base it on how I look. I have comments. Well, I don't like the way his hair is. I don't like his glasses. I don't want
petty stuff. Eh?
Oh yeah, and the admins let him get away with it. There's even admins on there that are actual business owners themselves will tell me in my messenger, "Hey Matt, you need to lower your prices. I don't like the way you sell." And I'm like, "What? That's crazy. Yeah. You're telling another business owner how they should operate their business?" To me, I don't understand that logic at all.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you'll never get hate from someone who's doing more than you, right? Like, that's something that's really interesting, because the people that are doing more than you are too busy killing it. Like, the hate always comes from below, man. Like you don't see some of the bigger names in the community, like, I don't know, like Pack Performance or Mazda Tricks or Atkins or any of these people. You don't see them in there hating. Like it's just like you said, it's this group of people that just love to get on you. you know?
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at it from a face value, you look like the bad guy. Because if you come in and look, you're like, oh, Matt Montgomery's got a steering wheel for sale and he's got 250 comments on it. And I'm like, how? Like, we post a steering wheel for sale, we don't get any comments, right? So, and half of those comments are from you defending yourself. That's all you're doing is defending yourself. You're not, you haven't started attacking anyone. They've all started attacking you, and then you're just doing what you rightfully, like, I get it. I understand why you would do that, you know?
Well, I have a big thing about, you know, just from smaller, I don't like bullies. I don't like it. And a lot of people, the thing is, it gets to the point to where it's not just commenting about my parts. They're commenting about me.
Yeah.
And then they start bringing my family into it.
Yeah. You're
and
saying
then and the thing is, I get comments in there where they actually want to fight me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't even tell you how many, just yesterday, right? I have this customer where he wants a refund, which I have no issues giving anybody refunds ever, right? Yeah. The only thing I ask is, please send back the parts. And when I get the parts, please have me inspect them. And I had an injury yesterday and I didn't have time due to personal reasons, right? I have a life just like anybody else.
Which people don't understand.
Yeah, people don't understand that. And he called me and he says, where's the refund? And I explained to him, hey, I haven't had time to inspect your parts to see if it's the same quality or whatever it may be. And he started going off and I'm going to get you. You better watch out, you know. And I get stuff like that all the time where I have to protect myself and my family because obviously I take care of individuals that live with me. And so unfortunately, that's kind of the world we live in where people will make threats towards you, not just for just whatever reason they want to.
Yeah, and everyone wants things instantly, right? Like instant.
Yeah, and I'm not Amazon. Yeah. I don't have the next, I mean, if they want to, I can, I guess, but the price is going to go up the roof for shipping. I've done that a couple of times and I informed them, hey, this is what it's going to be for shipping that I have no control over.
Yeah.
On shipping, this drives me nuts. So as soon as I ship it out with tracking information, it's out of my hands.
Yeah.
I have no control, and people don't understand that. Yeah. Like if UPS loses something or wherever the big name ones, right? Yeah. They blame me.
It's like you've got shares in the shipping company.
Yeah.
It's like you own the shipping company.
Oh, yeah. Matt's making sure that shipment doesn't come to me at this certain time, at this certain date. And sometimes there's delays. And then they'll start freaking out. Matt Montgomery's a scammer. He's a scammer. He's a scammer. I'm like, give it a second. Give it a second. I can't control the weather. I can't control the driver or what, you know, he might get sick. I can't control any of that. Yeah. Once it's out of my hands, I have no control. And some people don't understand that.
Yeah, we had similar issues with COVID, and then Canada Post had a strike, but then the LA fires, man. Like a lot of the stuff we ship from Canada to the States goes through LA.
Yeah.
And LA had the fires, and all the stuff was stuck in LA, but it's eventually freeing up. It's just people, they'll message you like you can free it up.
Yeah,
like you own part of UPS and
I'm having that kind of issue right now too. So I buy a lot of parts from Japan, right? And there's a process. So once the part I initially buy it has to go through their customs. Once it's in customs, I have no control. And they get so upset because customs has it in their possession for wherever it may be, 30, 45 days. Yeah, what most people don't understand is when it goes to customs, it's a massive warehouse. I mean, it is huge.
All sorts of protocols.
Yeah, and they're not going to be like, oh, Matt Montgomery just bought a part. I'm going to make sure he's first in line. You know what I mean? That's not how it's. And people don't understand that. People are like, where's my stuff? I'm like, here's the customs. Here's where it's at. And they still get upset because I'm not pushing it faster to the U.S. And even when it comes to U.S., it still has to pass the customs here also. Absolutely. And people don't understand that. And they're like, well, it's in the U.S. Why isn't it here yet? Why isn't it here? And I'm like, I can't control it. And when I try to explain that, some people don't.
Yeah, it's Amazon Prime. It's ruined it for a lot of things, eh? But part of that is still being clear at the start and everyone understanding what's going on. Like we list our shipping handling time to be quite extreme, more than what we actually do, and then we just always ship it faster, but it just gives us that little leeway, you know. We're like, 10 business days before we can ship it, but we might be able to ship it in 2. But we always try to do that because we were seeing a lot of those problems, man, you know.
Yeah, and the thing, there's too many unpredictable things that can happen during shipping.
Especially from Japan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I have no control over that, but who's to say they drop an item or breaks or like I said, I'll give anybody refunds if they want a refund or they want to replace a part because my cost is so low, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But all I ask is please be patient. That's all I ask. And if they want the refund back, that's fine. But there also is a process, just like I think you have it set up too, that when we do a refund, I have to go through my whole system.
Absolutely.
And they just want it now. I want it now. And they don't understand. I got to pay taxes and all of this. So I got to say why. Why is there a return on this? It's not just I'm giving money back away to someone. No, there was an issue here with this individual. There's a tax on there, right? Just like anybody else, just like Walmart. When you return it, they wanted to know why and what's the reason for it, and then you have a receipt. Same thing, but that's in person. But I'm not in person with a lot of people, so it's more or less just over the line. Online.
Yeah, and people panic, right? The worst is when people panic, and they do panic because of all the scamming that's going on. Like, there's a lot of scamming in our industry, man. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. And they use our names.
Yeah, they use our names. They use, like, I've seen a fake Riggs page advertising your parts and Phil's parts, I think with Phil's address and our profile photo and your parts on it. And I'm like, this is confusing me.
And the funny thing is I tell people do not buy anything from Instagram because there's my name on there with my profile picture and yours too. Yeah. And I tell them I do not sell on Instagram. I never do. And guess what happens when they buy from there? Hey, Matt, did you ship out the part? I never, you know what I mean? I don't know what you're talking about. And they start getting mad at me. Well, I bought a part from you on it. I'm like, I don't sell on Instagram. Yeah. There's a reason why, because there's too many scammers on there. And I have PayPal set up, right? And those scammers don't ever take PayPal. They take all these other
Zelle, Cash App and stuff.
Yeah. And sometimes people will buy stuff from me on Zelle through actual Facebook, not Instagram. Yeah. And I warn them, you have to be careful because there's too many scammers and they'll take advantage of you.
Yeah, or they do use PayPal. They use it to gift friends and family.
Yeah.
Like the guys scamming our pages do.
In the United States, I'm not sure how they do it in Canada, but where I have to file small claims to try to recoup some of that money. And sometimes that process is quite long. So a lot of people are like, well, Matt says he sues a lot of people. Well, the thing is, the process is not fast. It takes forever. I have to file through the courts, and then I got to find the individual and serve them. And this has happened quite a bit over.
You've got a few lawsuits going on and a bit of suing happening?
At this time, yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been scammed, and I'm talking right now, there's a pretty big scam where I paid for something and the individual actually sold that part to someone else, keeping my money.
A well-known individual.
Oh, yes. And that's the thing about this industry that we're in. There's so many things going on in the background that people don't even know. There's so much shady stuff where someone will send out an engine to get rebuilt, right? And they send out all new parts. And obviously, I think everybody knows, and I think it was Maryland, a big name, where he would just keep the new parts and put used parts from old engines and put it in there and assemble it. And then when the engine wouldn't start, they would blame it on the tuner.
Yeah, that's shifty, eh?
Yeah.
Like there's no conscience there.
No, and when they start like the downfall like that, they don't just stop. I mean, I think in the group there said a couple $100,000 easy. People just giving their money to them, and they didn't do anything. Yeah, they take the car, they strip the whole car down, they take their engine, they sell it off, and then they just tell the customer, "Well, not my problem."
Yeah, it's a shame like that. It's like that in this industry, eh? Like it's really sucks. But there is a wealth of knowledge out there. There is a lot of good people doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's not always bad.
Yeah, you just gotta the word of mouth, and you gotta know who knows and stuff like that. Like it's the Aussies are doing a lot of good stuff. The Kiwis as well, Puerto Ricans.
Oh yeah,
Puerto Ricans. You deal with the Puerto Ricans a lot.
Oh yeah, they love my stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes I give good deals. Like I said, even though my prices may seem high, I'm always willing to haggle.
Yeah,
that's just that's
absolutely. That's how you stay in business. Right?
Yeah, if the price is like, let's say I have a set of irons for $1,050, and someone comes like, "Hey, Matt, can you do 1,000 shipped?" I'll do it.
Yeah.
Then not only did I save them the cost of the price of the plates, I save them the cost of all the shipping costs because those plates are, they're pretty heavy. They're not.
Yeah, that's another thing. People don't understand how expensive it is to ship.
Yeah.
Especially if you're shipping international and you're shipping a plate. Like
that's a big problem with me shipping international. It's a huge risk because they don't have the same laws that the U.S. does. So I take big risk when I ship plates, rotors, housings, because sometimes I don't know if that person's just going to do an automatic chart, and I will never get that money back.
Yeah, it's a shame that it has to be like that, eh? It'd be good if you could just pick up. Everyone could pick up, but you're so isolated. You're in the middle of nowhere, really. Well, you're central to a lot of things, but it's still 5 hours to anything, eh?
Where I live?
Yeah. Like to the big places?
No. From Salt Lake City, it's only 56 minutes away, so it's not too far.
To where? Oh no! I mean, from where you are to the bigger cities. You're in Brigham.
Yeah.
But to like LA, Vegas, LA, San Fran.
Oh, like the major ones. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, how far is it to Phoenix?
12 hours.
Yeah. It's no, it's good though, man. Like you do you have any? Oh, that's what I want to ask you. Do you have anything in your collection that's not for sale?
Everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale. Eh?
I used to try to keep some rare parts in there. I mean, I've had some really rare stuff.
Like, give us some examples.
Not just the glass. The glass itself. Everybody says, "Oh, it's just regular glass." No, they only made it for that specific, and it's not just like it's tinted. It's actual. The glass itself is bronze.
Yeah,
and it has like little ZZ on the side of the on side of like the windshield.
Yeah,
that specifies that was made for this type of car. But in Japan, they have bronze glass, but nobody's just going to bring a car in from Japan, just to get glass itself.
And the front windshield as well is.
It's hard. Yeah. You just can't find it. Yeah. And like I said, I have one in pristine condition. It's just sitting there. And I don't know why people don't want it. I mean, if I was restoring a car back to its original, to the way it came from factory, right? Mm-hmm. I would purchase it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, if you're wanting to do a concourse rebuild and put it back exactly how it is, yeah.
But any car restoration is not cheap, regardless if it's an RX-7, an old Chevy, right? Let's say an old Corvette from way back in the, I think, when they started 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
That in itself, it's not cheap. I think this kind of goes across all car enthusiasts as it is. Nothing of this is cheap at all. This
never make your money back on a car.
No. And that's just how this industry is. And I'm just trying to provide a service. Hey, here's my parts. If you want to buy it, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But once you start causing issues and problems, Facebook has a little mark on the side that says you can block me at any given time. But people won't want to do that.
But people don't want to block you, man, because nobody watches you harder than those who don't like you. So you give them a show, right? Like you told me that people come home from work and like I couldn't wait to see what Matt Montgomery's posted.
Oh yeah,
so
I get
so I can get in on the drama and get on the controversy of what he's got going on.
Yeah, I have people that say that to me, and then I also have people who are like, I can't wait to get on there just to see you argue with other people because they tell me, yeah, you don't hold back, and the way I see it, right. Once you start attacking someone else's business, it's all fair game. Because they don't understand. They're not just going on there just to try to make me look bad. They're basically trying to shut my business down. And this happens a lot. People will actually go on there and be like, I want him out of here. I want him out of the groups. And I'm like thinking, what have I done in your life to make you think that way about me? Most of the guys don't even know who I am. They never even seen me. They never purchased parts from me. And that's their goal.
And what do you think that is? Like, do you think it's a jealousy thing? Do you think it's because you got a lot of good stuff? Do you think it's the pricing? Do you think it's the rebuttal that they have, like the defending of yourself?
Maybe it's all of it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just everything. Maybe, like I said, I don't know them personally. Maybe something's going on in their life that I just don't know. Maybe they're having a hard time in their life. Maybe they don't like their job.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah.
And the thing is, I try to put myself in their shoes sometimes, but then when they take it to a point where it kind of involves not just me and my business trying to shut me down and my family, then I just see how it is. And a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, you definitely come in with like just a fire hose full of fuel and just douse the comment section, man. Like I've seen you go pretty hard.
Yeah, and I'm very forward and blunt with what I say, and I think I'm more than justified to say whatever I mean, if there's no monetization of actually that group itself, who's to say they can't, threaten me? And I got messages of people trying to, want to make sure that I'm not going to see the next day.
Yeah, but I'm struggling to find out like how you've harmed these people.
I haven't.
Like for someone to go to that extreme, you would have had to like do something to them, like physically or financially or to a friend or a family member or something. But all it is just talk online.
Yeah, and then it's just keyboard words. The thing is, I'm older now, right? I'm 41.
Yeah.
So I don't go around starting fights with people because there's going to be some sort of ramifications for all of it, right?
Yeah.
If me and you get in a tussle, obviously one of us is going to go to jail, right? Yeah. And a lot of people don't take that into consideration because they just sit there and just type whatever they want to, and they think, oh, well, I said what I wanted to say, and I can threaten this individual. Well, there's not going to be nothing happening to me. And at the end of the day, that's just how society is.
Yeah, it's a weird one, eh? It's like, yeah, man, I don't quite understand it. But I wouldn't like. We get comments like you get, not as aggressive. But it's just water off a duck's back, right? Like it's a business for us. We just brush it off. We don't act like you do, but I can see why you act like you do, right? Like I get it, I understand it, right? And it's just defending yourself. That's all it is,
And that's why I'm trying to restructure my business now to where I'm not going to be like a one-on-one with people, where I just have a website. And the only way they'll be able to contact me is through an email, right, within business hours. And I think that's going to resolve a lot of these issues, because then there's not going to be no back and forth. There's nothing. And then I'm just going to shut off the comments and every time I post. And I know a lot of people don't like that too, because then it looks like I'm scamming. But at the same time, I think it's gotten to a point to where it just needs to kind of die out with that type of drama.
The turning off of the comments thing, I did mention that to you. You're saying that, it does make you look like a bit of a scammer when you direct people away from the comments, but you can't make sales in the comments section. That's the thing. Like, you can't give out pricing and address and bank details and all that in the comments section. If you want a private message us, but a lot of people are like, oh, that's a scam because you're taking them away from the comments section.
Yeah. But then it gets out of hand, right? Because
out of hand, your comments are getting out of hand. There's like 300 comments on a post, Yeah. How do you track that?
My phone's going off.
Yeah. But you're also like replying to everyone. You're giving a lot of people shit. You're giving a lot of people shit, man.
Because you after doing this for so long, you'll see this. It's always the same individuals.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
And it's never new people, but correct me on that. If it is new people, they're going based off what the other people.
That's right. They're coming in half conversation and they're not seeing where it all started. And all they're seeing is you versus 20 people. Right.
Yeah.
And automatically you're the bad guy, and that's how it looks from face value, right?
Yeah. And like I said, I don't like bullies. At the end of the day, I don't like bullies. I don't like when people try to make themselves feel superior onto someone else, right? Just because, not only that, they want to shut you down. They want to see, they love the reactions, right? And they're trying to, and I'm so quick with it because I've been doing it for so long, but there's no emotion behind it because I'm just so used to the trolls over and over and over again.
Just numb to it, eh?
Yeah, and then after a while, you just get really good at just saying whatever. And it makes them more mad. But at the same time, I'm kind of at fault for this too. It does drive business because people want to see it.
Yeah, so that was where I was going to get to here in this conversation. I was going to get to the algorithm. Now, I don't know if you're aware. It sounds like you might be aware, but you've single-handedly mastered the algorithm. That's what you've done. You've rattled some big names over the years, and you could rattle someone who's got 50,000 followers, and they can see, their 50,000 followers can see that they are interacting with Matt Montgomery. And this is on a for sale post. So then now you've got these guys with a lot of followers, and all their followers are now seeing you, and all their followers are coming along, and all you need is one person to buy that part. Like, that's what you post initially. You posted a part.
It's a domino effect.
Yeah, and you've got so many people looking. Like, you've just created, like Facebook and YouTube and places like that, they don't decipher between a negative and a positive watch, like, follow. It's just views, followers. So when you post something, I don't think you realize how many people it comes up on their feed based on the algorithm. I don't think, I could tell you don't realize, like, it's massive.
I don't try to pay attention to that as much as I do when someone comments. Sometimes I can't always say it's always negative, right? Sometimes people are just want to know, like, hey, what do it would cost to ship to this and that?
Yeah.
And that's not a problem. But then all of a sudden underneath there, you get individuals. So the algorithm on all this is you got to have to, there's a lot of trial and error. I've noticed that. And what I've done, if anybody sees my ads, I will change the way how I post things. Or even if I say it just a certain way, people will buy it. I'm not sure why that is. It's like a lot of advertisement, right? Yeah. Sometimes if that advertisement doesn't reach this type of people, maybe if I set it up this way with different pictures or and it sells. And it's the most craziest thing. I've done a lot of that over the past couple of years, and things start selling quick.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that on YouTube for views and stuff like that, changing your thumbnail or changing the description of your video and stuff like that. It's hard to work out why that happens.
A lot of people are, it's like a visual, right? They need to see it.
Yeah.
And if you change it maybe just in the right angle that they like it, and they're like, oh, I like that part that he's selling that day, or maybe, and I need that part. And then so I'll redo the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's
just like, refresh it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The problem with that is I won't say the group, but there's been a couple of groups out there that want to tell me I can only do it one time a day, can post one time a day. And that, I don't think that's fair, right?
On a for sale group.
Yes, because there's no limit. There's nothing in the rules that has a set limitations.
Yeah.
But they limit me because they say I'm too controversial, and this is not the Matt Montgomery group, which is fine, right? Yeah. But at the same time, nobody else has the restrictions.
No,
it's just me.
Yeah. And
I think that's crazy I'm like, what's going on? I thought this was the free market. What's going on?
It's a weird one. And that goes back to people seeing it for not digging deep and seeing what the actual root causes of all this controversy, They just see you attacking people, but you're just defending. That's what it is, man. These admins, that's what I think it is. It's like you're back to the algorithm. It's like you're the bad boy of sport, man. Like the Conor McGregor or the Dennis Rodman or the John McEnroe. Like you gain all this attention from your actions and your outlandish comments, and then it brings all these people to you, man. And people love the drama, and everyone wants to see it.
They like to chime in and all this other stuff.
Like it's how it is, And but if you're selling stuff, that's good for you, man, because it's always going to pop up on people's feeds. That's what people strive for on social media, is to get the algorithm to push their stuff.
Yeah, and I guess
you've managed to do it in a very unusual way.
Maybe it's just my personality.
Right? 100%. Yeah.
And I'm just being 100% myself. I'm not trying to portray myself to be something that I'm not. And that's just, if my attitude comes off kind of aggressive sometimes.
And you mentioned that was because you're from a family of 10?
Yeah. So it's chaotic, right? You're going to, people are screaming, yelling, little kids running around. So naturally my voice is a little bit more aggressive because I have to talk. You've always had an upward talk. And some people take that the really wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah. And it comes across on the message too, I guess, as well, a little bit.
Yeah. And then people don't understand that. And like I said, I'm not apologizing for any of that. That's just me. I can't apologize for who I am as a person, right? You are going to be you at the end of the day.
Different nationalities, speak in different tones. Like the Canadians are really actually quite like more softer spoken and stuff like that. But the Puerto Ricans, when I talk to them on the phone, they sound like they're yelling at you.
Yeah, and they're not even remotely even doing it, and it just comes across that way.
Yeah,
and a lot of people have a hard time understanding that or taking it in a way that it shouldn't be taken.
Yeah,
and it causes some problems sometimes, and that's why I'm trying to like make it to where people can't speak to me. It's where it's just all automated now, and they can just talk to me through email, and so then they will never hear me talk like my voice or tone them how it's coming across.
Yeah, but the downside of that is, man, like people want to talk to you a lot of the time because it comes across as more legit, more personable. You know, like the Aussies call us up all the time. They're, hey, Riggsy, what's going on, mate? You know, like first of all, it shows that you're most likely not a scammer, but you can be quite personal. So it can work that way as well. It can work in a positive and a negative way, right?
And do you know what the funny thing is? You're saying that. I've had a little over 5,000 transactions, which might not seem a lot, but for my small business as it is, right? For one person to do that over a 6-year span, I think it's great, right? So I've had interaction with that many people, or I can't say it's always the same person or just different variety of people. And regardless if it's good or bad, at least they've talked to me at that certain time point.
Yeah. You know, like people that aren't genuine aren't going to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a big deal when and when they can put a face to the name as well, you know, like your profile's there, you can see who you are.
Well, the thing is when I ship, I will send them full videos.
Yeah.
I will send them full videos and the tracking information, and I'll show them, okay, this is me. And if they want to see a picture of me holding a part, I have no problem doing that at all.
Yeah.
Just to show that I'm not scamming. And hopefully, you know, that kind of
gives them peace of mind. Like it's putting yourself in their shoes too. Like what would you want to see in the situation if you were buying the part? You know what I mean? Like that's how I try to sell stuff. I try to sell it to myself. Like be like, okay, you're across the other side of the world. What do you want to see? You know?
But the bad thing about that too is I get a lot of tire kickers on there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the worst, man, when you spend time entertaining them, getting them prices, photos, cleaning parts, and then crickets.
Oh, yeah. It's gotten, the past couple of years, it's gotten really bad. I'd say, I think I spend the majority of my time doing that than anything else, where they like, okay, I want to see the part. I want to make sure you're not scamming. Fine. So I go out there, I send a full video. Here's the part, here's me, all this. And then not only crickets, oh, hey, I'll pay you on this time and date. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Never.
Leaves a sour taste in your mouth though, right? And it's hard to continue doing that in a good mood with more customers. You know, like sometimes we'll get messages where it's going to take us like 2 or 3 hours to get these things ready for photos, you know? So it's a gamble that we're taking that you're going to take it when we send you the photos. You're going to pay for it?
Yeah.
So and that's then the kind of thing you're talking about.
Oh, no, and that sometimes they will send me a deposit, right?
Yeah.
I want this part. I'm like, cool. All right.
Yeah.
You paid the deposit. I wrap it all up, make it all nice, get ready for them. And then they don't repay the main balance.
Yeah.
And then they file a claim against me. I'm like, wait, you just said you were going to buy this. Now not only am I stuck paying for all my time, right? All the packaging material. Yeah. Just everything, and nobody takes that into consideration. It's not, our time is not free.
No, but that's where moving to a store or a website or a platform, it takes a lot of work to set up a website and a store. Like we've done it, you know. You've got to take all the photos to upload to that store, you know, and that's going to take up all your time.
Oh yeah, I know it's going to take a long time to do that.
It's an eBay store sounds great, but it takes a lot of time to do one listing. You know?
The problem with eBay is they're taking more percentage for doing absolutely nothing. 13%. And this is another reason why I don't like PayPal for sellers. So they take a percentage of the buyers, right? I think it's 3%.
Yeah,
right?
Sellers, yeah.
And so when it goes into our accounts for us to extract the money, they hit us again.
Yep.
So not only we're paying double on that, and we're losing more and more money. It's like, well, this is crazy. Why am I paying a company like that when they do absolutely nothing for me? They don't. They're supposed to be
protective.
Yeah, and they don't protect me. They don't. And there's, like I said, there's several times where I've been scammed, and they go, I don't care.
Yeah,
what
there's gray areas with PayPal, right, where there's actually no way to resolve it. Same with eBay, but the buyer gets stung. especially like we sell a lot of stuff to like Australia, right, to New Zealand. So they send us Canadian dollars from there, so they get stung on that. If you go to the XT currency converter and look at the worldwide exchange rate, PayPal's exchange rate is way worse, right? So when they send the money, they lose out for it to get to us in Canadian because we accept Canadian, right? So that PayPal really gets you there.
Well, I mean, it'd make more sense just to pay with their credit card.
Yes, so we take Stripe as well, credit card, and there is protection on that too, but it's about the protection, man. Like it's
people feel more safe with PayPal, but they don't understand that it's really no benefit for them.
Well,
to me, it doesn't seem that way because I also buy stuff too, right? And sometimes if they ship me the wrong stuff, all I have to do is print out a fake label.
Yeah.
And so if they see, and then you're fighting that the whole time, and it's just a mess.
But then fighting it costs you money to fight it, right? Because
time and money. That's what it comes down to.
But that's where they've got you. That's their business, and that's how they do it.
And they're making a killing out of doing absolutely nothing.
Doing nothing. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Like, and eBay as well. It's 13% when you sell a car part on eBay.
Yeah, but they don't have protection on there. I don't think. I think in the fine lines.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
They do. Yeah, and it's always for the.
It's for the cars. They don't.
Oh, okay. I haven't done much on eBay for cars.
Yeah, I haven't done eBay for such a long time. As soon as they start taking all the percentages away, I was like,
man,
no
it's
way.
convenient, man. Like all the parts on eBay that we have, 2,500 listings or whatever, they're on the shelf. So when we get a sale, there's no communication with the buyer, right?
Oh, okay.
So when we get a sale, it comes through sale, and then the office staff, the team, the RVM team, and the shop guys, they just grab the part off the shelf, then they wrap it, and then just admin builds a label based off the seller's information, buyer's information, and the purchase.
Do you see yourself eating a lot of cost on eBay though?
I don't look at it because it hurts, man.
Yeah,
right, but the thing is, we have high prices on eBay, and I try to say that in every way I can. I was like, hey, contact us another way. Contact us through email or Facebook, and we can do it for 13% cheaper.
And that's another thing that's another thing that's going to be kind of bad moving away from that, having that connection with the people. They ain't going to have the opportunity to haggle with me, which I don't mind at all. Like, right, if I have something really priced kind of high, they're like, oh, he wants too much for that. Haggle with me.
Yeah,
I'll haggle. If it's within reason, I'll do it all day long. And it doesn't bother me.
I don't think people realize that about you, though. Like, I didn't realize that about you until you told me. I mean, you shouldn't have to realize it. It's obvious you can negotiate, but
yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to say, hey, Matt, are you willing to take this? And it doesn't. I don't get upset at all. Well, like I said, as long as it's within reason. If I have something, if I'm posting something up for $800 and they offer me $200, then I'm like, oh, that's not even a reasonable offer. If you're saying maybe $680, that's a possibility. Depends on what the part is.
Yeah, how much it's going to cost to ship. And, and that's a good thing about eBay. You can barter on there, the offers, right? So we put offers on a lot of our stuff, and we do negotiations. And I love it. I like negotiating. It's like a bit of a thrill, you know. Like a lot of people get a bit intimidated by negotiating, you know.
I actually like it. It's not too bad.
You know, people get a bit awkward when it comes to negotiating, but it depends on what country you're from too. Like a lot of the Middle Eastern countries and stuff like that, they just negotiate all day long, man, like nonstop, you know. But yeah, it's good. It's good fun. Like it's all there to benefit people and help everyone out. Now, I wanted to move on to the dismantling of the cars. You get a bit of stick for dismantling cars. Okay.
They hate it.
Depends how you look at it, man. It depends how you look at it, you know.
I can't save them all. It's impossible.
No.
There's no way. Can you imagine me trying to save 160 plus cars? I would be one of those homeless people.
Yeah.
You know, begging for money. There's no way. I don't know how that'd be sustainable as a business owner.
But how many cars are you saving doing what you're doing? See, this is what I think 98% of people get it. There's about 2% of people that don't understand that dismantling these cars is getting hundreds more cars on the road.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure if I bring this up already, but When I first started, I gave away over 30 something cars for free.
Yeah.
There was nothing behind it. And once I started doing that, people started just badmouthing me as soon as they took possession of the car, saying, whatever they can just to badmouth me. And it got to a point where I just figured, it's better just to crush it, because if I crush it, then nobody can say anything about that car that I just gave away. And people still get upset that I'm crushing them now, but my hands are kind of tied. Well, if I give them away, I'm bad. If I crush it, I'm bad. Then what?
Yeah, and I do see that you make an effort to try and sell them sometimes.
Yeah, the shells. I sell them and nobody comes.
Yeah.
Nobody ever comes.
No, I mean even complete cars before you touch them.
Yeah, and nobody ever buys them.
Yeah.
And
people are the first ones to,
Oh, you want too much for that. I'm like, okay, how much would you pay? And it's like, it's ridiculous offer where it's not even worth trying to, sell it as a complete car, because I'll make way more partnered out.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that, for you or for us to keep in business, to keep these cars on the road, we need to part them out, which in turn keeps the business doors open, which in turn keeps more cars coming in, which more parts going out, which means more cars are getting on the road.
It's a cycle, yeah.
Yeah, we recently obtained an RX-2 sedan that had 3,000 miles on it, but it hit a tree.
Oh,
right? So 90, it had a massive half moon scallop out of the side of it, but the rest of the car was like show condition, like mint, right? So an Aussie would probably fix it, but it's massive amounts of work, right? Like the half the car was caved in on one side.
To me, I don't like, if I ever had an opportunity like how you just got that one, I wouldn't fix it, because it's kind of like a peace of mind in the back of my head. Also, the structure, right? Once you do something of that kind of damage, will that car ever be the same? No, maybe people will be like, oh, I can fix it back to how it was, but really? Are you really fixing that car back to where it came from factory?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, you need the chassis. It's just a massive scallop out of the side of it. So it was unfixable. So we track every single sale on a spreadsheet. Every car's got a number. And this particular car, we paid very little amount for it. But we tracked over the years, we tracked every part that's come off it, and how much it's worth, right? And where it's gone. And we've sent over 1,000, maybe close to 1,500 parts off this car to 55 different countries, which has in turn helped hundreds and hundreds of Mazda RX-2s get back on the road. So even if you got a brand new show car straight from the factory and dismantled it, you would be getting literally hundreds and hundreds of cars on the road. And then if you got that car and you parked it here and you parked 500 cars over here that were donors, it's like on your license, like if you donate your eyes or your kidney or your liver or something like that, right? And you had next to 500 cars that you got on the road, which one are you going to pick? The 500 or are you going to pick the one that you dismantled, right? So I try to explain that to guys and they don't quite get it. Majority of people do, though.
Yeah, a lot of people have like an emotional attachment to the car.
Yeah, but for guys like you and I, we've got a lot of those cars, so where are we going to get the time of day to restore it? And like you say, you post it up for sale for maybe an eighth of the price of what you can get out of it in parts, and no one buys it, right? No one's coming to Salt Lake City to buy a car. No one's coming to Northern Alberta and Canada to buy a car.
Or they make excuses. Oh, I wish I was closer. And then I'm like, if I can go get the car, why can't you get the car? I mean, I just drove. Yeah. There's been times I've drove over 65 hours just round, just straight, got the car, and I didn't make any excuse to get the car. And if people say they don't have time, I mean, there's weekends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man. Like, you make it happen, right? You make it happen. But then there's border crossings and there's all sorts of extra prices, costs for all that sort of stuff. We had one guy give us a bit of stick for dismantling a car. He says, oh, you should be fixing that up. I'm like, okay, where would we get the parts to fix this up from?
That's the crazy thing.
Like, where are you going to get the parts from? Oh, well,
when I'm dismantling
Riggs is selling the parts to get the cars fixed. Like, it's kind of an odd
like they make the parts just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's the thing, like they don't look into it that far. But like I said, 98% of people are like, oh yeah, man, stoked. You helped me get the car on the road. That car donated to my mate's car, and he gave me your information because he told me you were parting out an 808 sedan, and and stuff like that. Like, to be fair, we don't part out nice cars, but we have parted out cars that are restorable. But we've got a good collection of drivers and runners and show cars that we keep in our own collection. We do save the nice ones, but there comes a time when you got to keep the doors open too, man. You got to, you've got staff, you've got overheads, you've got things like that.
Yeah, and the economy hasn't been great overall for the past couple of years. And so, like you said, you got to do what you got to do to keep those doors open. Or if you don't, then your business is kind of
that's where I don't think people understand that there is actually people like you and I doing it for a business, for a full-time business. Like this is what we do.
Yeah, it's our
livelihood, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, well, I can see where they're coming from. Like, it's a very rare thing to be doing,
But like I said, I don't have any emotional attachment to any sort of car. It can be a brand new Porsche. I don't care. To me, there's no meaning behind it. To me, it's just always going to be a car. Yeah,
and there's a group of people that do, well, they say they do, or maybe they just say they do because they want to just ride you a little bit, Yeah, it's an interesting one. But yeah, man, like it's what's the plan for moving forward here then? Like,
I'm probably gonna start bringing more stuff in from Japan.
Yeah, that seems to be working for you. You got a broker or something?
I do all myself.
Oh, okay.
Just like I do in the United States. So when I first initially started looking for cars, I will look in every single county, town, whatever, for hours and hours and hours. And sometimes all you have to see is like an old post that they did like 10 years ago. And you kind of just like, hey, do you have that? No, but my buddy has one over here.
Yeah.
And I've done that for so long. That's how it just, and then it got to a point where people were just calling me or even texting me saying, hey, I got this. Come get it.
I get it. I understand. Word of mouth's got out that you're looking for them, right?
Yeah.
Is this Marketplace, Craigslist, things like that?
Marketplace.
Yeah. We experience the same thing. Like a lot of people just come straight to us because they know we'll take it off their hands. No fuss.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're not reaching out to them. They're coming to you and you kind of tell them, okay, this is what I'm willing to pay for it. And I'm not forcing them to sell it to me. At the end of the day, it's up to them, right? It's the transactions between the two people. And, if they don't like the price, they can sell it to someone else. Mm-hmm. But that's just how it works for me. Majority of the time, people are like, okay, I need some cash or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
They just want out quick too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I've done that several times where people were like, I don't tell anybody most of the time. I've had people where I saved their Christmas.
Yeah.
Or there was no one where the guy owes back taxes for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I gave them a good lump sum money for cars and stuff. And I just keep quiet about it and just take the car and I'll part it out. Even though it's nice, I'll part it out. Like I said, I need to make at the end of the day, I need to make money too. Why I'm helping other people that.
Absolutely. You can't fix them all up.
No.
Like it takes a lot of time to fix up a car, right? Like,
oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Especially with these cars.
Another one we get is the wife doesn't like the car anymore, so come and get it. Turn up with some cash and the wife's like, oh yeah, sweet.
And my wife gave up a long time ago. She did. She doesn't even ask anymore. Yeah. She's like, he's going to do whatever he wants to do. I don't care.
What did you do before this?
Just warehouse work.
Yeah. And you realize this is where it's at.
Well, I came to the terms that my time, I want to dictate my time and how much my worth is at the end of the day, right? I'm not trying to downplay anybody like electricians, whoever they do. Let's say they get paid $30 an hour. That's fine. That's fine with them. I always thought my time was worth more. Yeah. Why would I want someone else tell me when I can go restroom, when I can eat, what time I have to show up for work, what time I have to leave, what time I can do my vacation? This way, it's all on me. The only person I can blame is myself.
Freedom.
Yep.
Back yourself too, right? And also, but it comes with a bit of stress.
It does. There's a lot of stress behind it, but that's just the risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah. To be your own boss, eh?
And that's the thing I tell everybody. If you're not happy with what you're doing, why don't you go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of people complain about this situation.
Yeah, and I see that on there all the time, that they're upset because they can't afford the parts, right? And I said, you don't have to be stuck in that situation. You can always better yourself where it may be. Yeah, things might not look the best, or you might be able to afford these parts. I know I'm kind of going around here, but at the same time, it's the truth, right? Nobody should just be like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. I can't afford nothing. I can't afford part. And sometimes people kind of vent to me that too. And I try to tell them, hey, it's not going to always be like that. There's some things can always change. It just depends on you.
Bit of counseling. Matt Montgomery's counseling.
Yeah. And the thing is, I get along young kids that do that. They're like, oh, I can't afford this, man. I'm sorry. And I'm like, that's fine. Just save some money and you'll be able to afford this part. And do you know how many times I've saved parts I've held for people? I think the longest part I've held for someone was 4 years. It was a dash. And he said, I can't come get it. I can't come get it.
But he was enthusiastic and you could tell he's genuine or what? Why did you hold it for him?
I think it was just out of principle.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to give someone parts and then they sell the parts off. I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
And so when people buy from me and they go, can you hold it there? That's fine. I'll hold it there. I'm not going to sell your stuff because the way I see it, it's no longer my property. It's once you purchase something, it's your property. And never how you want to work out with me, the shipping or maybe, and like I said, for a while there, for 2-3 years, I would actually go to the people and deliver their parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I drove a lot. And for the most part, that's turned out okay. But every now and then when I drop off the parts and everything's nice and done right, and I give them engines, whatnot, as soon as maybe a week later, Matt Montgomery is a big scammer piece of crap. And I can't figure out why. Why would you do that, right? Why would you make me waste my time, go way out there, deliver you all these parts, and turn around just to badmouth me? I can't understand that.
Just jumping on the bandwagon, eh? You know, like you've got pages made up about you.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
Like actual Facebook pages called Matt Montgomery does this, Matt Montgomery does that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how they can have that much time to do that.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, man, no one watches you more than the people that don't like you, you know? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and they fabricate stories out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I can have a conversation with me and you, like, right, on Messenger, and I'll talk to them, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you don't want to buy my part? And they go, oh, Matt Montgomery said this, said that, said this. And I'm like, what is going on?
It's crazy how that happens to you.
But not only that, sometimes it has nothing to even do with the parts. They even criticize just the way I look. I mean, right? Maybe I don't have a bright enough smile. Maybe my head's stupid. Whatever it may be. At the same time, I don't understand what does that have to do with me selling parts.
It's a bit of a backhanded compliment, though, in a weird way. You know, that people are that focused on you. Like people are focused on you, man. Like honed in. I know everyone, but people watching this who know what I'm talking about, you know, like
sweaters for sale, the glasses for sale. I guess if you guys want it, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird though, man. It's a weird thing. Like you're everywhere all the time.
Hey, I'm selling Matt Montgomery shirts are pre-worn, tearing out.
Someone's going to steal that, man. They're going to steal it up. They start up a website, you know?
Yeah. Hey, this is the socks Matt wore this day, taking off this part. I mean, you never know.
Yeah. No, it's you're a huge personality. I mean, but yeah, you've been accused for all sorts of stuff. Hey, it's crazy, man.
The thing is, none of it's factual. And the thing is, when you actually say, okay, where is the proof? Every single transaction I've ever had, there is full documentation of everything. I mean, from the messages, from me shipping out, and every time you try to say, okay, Matt Montgomery did this, where's the proof? And there's no proof behind it.
Something that we've been like guilty of and done before is either making a typo on a listing or maybe advertising the wrong part. You know, like we've done that before. We've put up photos of the wrong part and called it the wrong part and called us out. Have you ever done that? You admit to doing that?
Unfortunately, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this right now. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I think everybody does that. There are so many parts to go through, and you're taking so many pictures, right? Yeah. I can't even tell you how many thousands of pictures I have. Let's say I accidentally put something wrong there. Oh, he's scamming someone because he accidentally...
You called it the wrong thing.
Yeah, or maybe or there's one small picture in there that wasn't that part in it. He's scamming.
Straight away to the scam.
Instead of saying, hey, Matt, I think you might messed up there. You put this picture in there when it wasn't. And I'll just correct it, which is not a big deal. But no, they're so quick.
People don't deliver it in that manner, you know, like... but this is a good example of how you and I can relate, where not many people can relate to this because they're not doing it like that. And that's why I thought I'd ask you, because you could be an expert in Mazda parts, and you're going to make mistakes. Like we do it. We've made the wrong listing or wrong typo or stuff like that.
But even today, after doing this for so long, I still don't know everything. And I'll admit right now, I don't know everything because there's so much to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got different years, and like it will change from like a 1988 Mazda RX-7 to a 1986. You're like, wait a second, they're both S4s.
86, yeah.
And they just change different little things here and there. And sometimes, like I said, I'm not an expert by any means, but I will ask people to say, okay, what's the difference between this? And then try to gain as much information for my selling knowledge. And if there is a mistake on there, I will try to fix it. But most of the time, they won't even give me the chance to fix the mistake.
That's what I'm getting at. And you don't get the chance. Like what we struggle with, we don't struggle with it, but it's a concern sometimes is we sell everything from Mazda R100 to FD, RX-7 and everything.
That's a lot,
right?
That's a lot.
So if a guy messages us, he's got an RX-2 and he's been into RX-2s for 20 years, he knows RX-2s like the back of his hand. So we need to be on the same level as he is with the RX-2 Series 1 Australian built model, But he doesn't know much about the RX-3 or the RX-4 or the RX-7. He's just an RX-2 guy, So we come across a lot of guys like that are just really purists and extremely knowledgeable in their field of that car. So, but we have loads and loads of models that we have to be on the same page.
It's impossible.
It's like you dealing with Series 4, 10th Annie, Series 5, Turbo 2, all that sort of stuff. You need to know, you need to be on the top level through all the models to be able to converse with these people and understand what they're after. And they'll teach us, They'll also call us out when we make a mistake.
Yeah, and I think there's a right and wrong way to do that, right?
Absolutely.
If you make a mistake, it's not hard to sit there and be like, hey, I think this is what you were doing, but they don't do it that way.
Just a bang.
Yeah, they go, no, you're an idiot, you're this, you're that.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? What is the purpose of that? Don't you want people to know more about it? Why does it matter if everybody makes mistakes? We're human. We're not robots.
It's the delivery of it, man. Like how it's delivered to.
No, and that they're not only are there so many models they made different. Maybe one has leather seats, one has trims exactly. How are you going to know it's impossible, right? Yeah. And not only that, I started noticing like when they made I think you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's 1991, 1990 Mazda RX-7 Turbo 2, right? I didn't know that they changed the weights in the rotors just by like a little variation. And I didn't know that. Like I said, I might be wrong. And it can be that subtle. And you didn't even know.
Yeah, there's some weird years there. Like the 1980 RX-7 is a bit of a blend. We've got a couple of 1983 GSLSEs, right? The 86 FC was a different one too. There was a little bit of
it's when they were changing over the years.
Yeah. And man, like it's the 78, 79 RX-7 is different to the 80, even though they're both Series 1. But it's like that through the years of the RX-2s and the RX-3s as well.
I started learning about that. The FDs did the same thing, right? People will ask me, do you have a 93 or 94, 95? And I'm like, what's the difference? And then sometimes they have to educate me why they made differences for it, and I didn't even know, just because there's too much information.
You didn't even get them here after 95, right? Like they're from 92 to 95, So, but they were 99 spec and all that sort of stuff. Series 6, 7, 8,
when I bring parts in from Japan, people will, when I bring them in, they go, "Oh, I didn't know that was a 1995. I didn't know. It didn't specify it when I was buying it. It just says FD."
But you're talking to someone who really knows.
Oh yeah, and
that's all they know. They just know about that FD.
Yeah, and if let's say the conversation goes bad, right, and they didn't buy it from me. Oh, Matt Montgomery's an idiot because he didn't know this, and it's like, man, it's impossible to know everything.
Yeah,
I can't know every.
You never
will. No,
you never will, man. You just do your best, right, and just keep plucking from everyone. Like that's the key.
And that's the thing I've done over the past. I've gotten so much information, and a lot of them kind of turned on me too after they taught me everything they know. They just kind of like, oh, he doesn't know. The thing is, I'm constantly trying to learn myself.
Yeah. And you have got into the FBs a little bit, eh?
Yeah, I don't know how. It's just they've been showing up all on my marketplace. I'm like, hey, I guess I'll just grab this one up.
Yeah, and you haven't been getting into the RX2s and 3s and 4s. You're just not much around, or you're just not interested?
Where I live, that hasn't been around very much at all.
Yeah,
I got a REPU. It was okay.
Yeah.
The thing with the REPUs is they're known to rust really bad.
Thin metal in the box.
Yeah.
That battery storage area.
And the cab itself, it rusts bad. And to fix it, you're basically have to tear it all the way down, new sheet metal or metal, wherever
they use on that. 15,000 of them, but they're sweet trucks, eh?
Yeah, dangerous. Dangerous when you start putting power down to them.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, but they only made 15,000 of them, and they only came to the States. They only came in here. Never nowhere else. Well, up to Canada as well, but
is there some up there?
Yeah, they just made them to compete with the Ford, Chevy, and Dodge in the 70s. That's why they did it, like the half-ton truck. Like Japan never got any.
When you say that, they did the same thing. I bring in 10th anniversary FC from Canada one time, and I started looking at it like something's off. You guys have like these weird vent things on the dash. On the sides, you can open and close it that the U.S. model never had.
Oh, okay.
And I'd never seen that before. There's like little things.
There's little things like the seat belts and stuff too. Manual seat belts. There's the US spec for the laws and that. Same with like go back to the R100s for the headlight laws and stuff, you know, like they had round headlights because you couldn't have a square one. So there's loads of different things. With the Japanese model, a square, well, rectangle. You know, the red tail lights, right? You know how all the American cars got the red tail lights. They didn't allow the amber ones like Japan and Australia got.
Yeah, and then they try to convert over here and then get big old trouble.
Yeah, the red ones look sweet though. They look way cleaner than the orange, you know. But no, that's good, man. So you're just going to plan on continuing on and finding all this rare stuff, and
yeah, I mean, as long as I can do it for.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm not working. I guess my bones and all that still working just fine. I was going to ask you, I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, I know you guys obviously a lot bigger than I am. I'm trying to figure out how you guys do with your kind of volume you guys do. I mean, I'm just a one person man. You guys probably got a big...
Yeah, well, we ramped up to 9 employees, which was quite a lot. Ramped down a little bit from there now, but man, it's just chaos, eh? It's just chaos. But like you say, the bottleneck was the communication. So when you're doing all these things on Messenger, your photos, your pricing, your cleaning, all that sort of stuff, that was the bottleneck. So we've got the eBay store now. eBay store is probably it's ramping up now, but it's probably about 30% of our sales go through eBay. But the rest is just manual, man, like you're doing it.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I wasn't aware.
So I've had guys managing that sort of stuff, and then...
so you have a whole team behind you then?
Yeah, office girls looking after the labels and the accounting, and then guys wrapping and guys pulling parts, guys cleaning, taking to the post office, stripping, all that sort of stuff, yeah. It's pretty cool because we got to a point now where I can do this sort of stuff, man. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to go talk to guys like you. I want to talk to guys talk to some good, some really good guys in New Zealand, and then went to Seven Stock, and then I went over to Toronto, and next stop I'm planning to go to Puerto Rico and just cruise around doing podcasts, man.
Yeah,
like it's sweet, eh? Just bring the world together.
Man, it seems like a great thing to do. I mean, you're connecting with people that most people don't get to see.
That's right.
You're not.
You know, like I really wanted to give you a platform to talk, man, because I just knew from day one that you were misunderstood. I just knew it, right? Because I watch more than anyone because I'm always on there. But like I say, if you come in from the sideline and you don't see how it all started, you look like a real bad guy, man.
I know.
You really do, right?
And the internet, it's just anything, right? Anybody can post anything they want about any individual, and they can fabricate stories. And to compete with that I think it's ridiculous because at the same time, how am I supposed to defend the same, the 100 individuals making up fake stories about me at the same time?
Yeah, so many people.
And it's just trying to sell at the same time, trying to do that, and then you have people coming at this way and that way, and
it gets a bit frustrating, eh?
I think a lot of this would be if it was more well managed in the groups. I don't think that this problem.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I can't talk about you, but I've been kicked out of groups just for it. I mean, I used to be in like 380 groups.
Yep. Yep.
And people just like, well, Matt Montgomery's causing too much controversy in here, so we're just gonna kick him out, even though I'm not the one even doing it.
No, you're not causing it. You're just amplifying it with your defense.
Yeah, well, then you'll have the people that make the fake accounts. I want to see his name, where he had like 30 something different accounts. It was all with the same individual.
Yeah.
And he would call me scammer and say some really inappropriate things. And he would have a whole like, basically to where he would have like my pictures of me saying I did this and that. And he would post it on those groups. And he would just spam those groups over and over and over again with different accounts. And people didn't realize it was the same person doing it, but they couldn't put two together. And they go, well, Matt, I believe this person, so we're going to kick you. And I was like,
following, right? And it's just like talk about being kicked out of the groups. We get removed from the groups. We don't even notice it. And we do notice it eventually, but when it happens, no one tells us because we're a member of, I don't even know how many hundred groups, but I don't know why we get kicked out, but it's probably because we might post too much and too often. But on the other side of that, we got groups, admins reaching out to us saying, hey, Riggsy, can you post more? Because if we post more, like if you post more and you've got your following, you post more on that page, it's going to boost that page.
So I understand.
Right? But it can also clutter the page too. So I can see where, like, if the page isn't got a lot of traffic, and then it's just like Riggs, Matt, Riggs, Matt, Riggs, Matt, Matt. And there's no one else actually on it. It's like the Riggs and Matt page or something. You know, I can get that, but guys that are trying to boost their page are reaching out to us saying, hey, Riggs, can you post more for sale stuff? You know? And then there's like that, like talking about the volume and stuff. We shipping to odd places like Argentina and Norway and Greece and stuff like that. And they've got their own little pages, like the Argentina RX-7 Club's a good little one, and that's something where I'd like to take the podcast to down to Argentina and really dig into the little places, you know.
Yeah, so, and you would think that I would be good for your group, right? Because they can't always be bad. There's got to be positive behind it too. And you would assume, okay, well, if he's bringing in this much activity, because there is, right? When you make a new group, it's going to show you an activity log on there.
Yeah, yeah.
And when it's showing that I'm spiking it every time I go on there, that should be great for your group.
I don't think people, because of the way humans are, I don't think they're going to leave the group because there's too much. Some of them might, but too much Matt Montgomery drama. Like they would just look at it and watch it, and probably, I don't know, like people are attracted to that sort of stuff. But more people are going to come to the group for the drama than leave the group, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are people that will just be like, I don't want to be involved in this, but there's so many people that want to.
Yeah, but I think some of them, I can't say all of them. I would say there's a few admins out there that are extremely biased against me, right? And you're like, how's that possible? Because they will let actual scammers, people that have been proven to have stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they just let them in the group. And I go, what's going on? So I'm being kicked out because I'm defending myself, but yet you're letting known people in here that have been shown to rip people off, and you're saying I'm the issue? How is that even?
Yeah, and are the admins really like paying attention? Like, is there anything in it for them? You know, a lot of the time, you know, like some of them are really well run, some of the pages, but some of them are just like free for all.
Oh, I know, it's chaotic.
Yeah, you know, and like we have our own page, so we don't really rely too much on them. But I can see what you're saying. You know, like you run a few pages.
Yep.
Yeah. So is that a bit of work or what? Like.
It is, but I'm
screening people and whatever.
I've done it for so long now. It's just second nature now. I can tell when the scammers are, because they make it so easy. I mean, I'm not going to give my secrets out, but they make it really easy for me to find out who it is.
Yeah, it is easy to see. Yeah.
Yep. And then especially when they start using my parts, I'm like, really? You're doing that when I'm running this page and you're using my parts to sell?
But your everyday guy that's got like their own stuff going on, like maybe they've got a big company and they're not even on the page as much, but they do have a Mazda RX-7 in their garage and they want to fix it up. It's hard to expect them to know who's who when like guys like you and I probably take it for granted a little bit more because we are on the pages so much, so we can see straight away who's who. And like we know everyone that's doing everything pretty much on the pages. But if you're just coming in once a month to have a look, I can see how it can be tough.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes I tell them to make me a moderator. Some of them have. Some of them say no. They go, we don't want you doing that because you're going to kick out the people that cause issues and problems. Which why would you want them in your group?
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah, because a lot of them that do, I can't say all of them, but I would say the majority of them that cause these issues and problems, they're not even buying. Their intention is not even to buy anything.
No.
Their main focus is to go on there and stir like all this drama in the group. And I'm not the only one. I mean, I've had other sellers, I mean, some big ones saying they're having the same issue, that they just go on there on a daily basis and just cause problems.
Yeah. I still think that, like, I'm not on the Honda pages or anything like that, but I think it's worse over there.
Yeah. I did that for like maybe 6 months and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out of this.
Pages and like, yeah, just what happened over there? Like, just crazy, eh? It's more affordable, eh?
Hondas, I can do Hondas.
Pages must be massive too, man. They must be like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on them.
Well, it's a lot bigger group, so trying to manage that, it's I don't know, and it's not small. It makes my group look like nothing. I think it's like over 100,000 people going in there. Trying to manage that, no way.
Yeah, man, crazy. Like, I don't know. I try to stay in the one lane, eh? You know, like
for now. I think eventually, I know people don't like these cars because they didn't do the very well. I think RX-8s, I'm not saying now, in the future, they might actually start to become, maybe the prices might go up because you can only have so many out there that are being crashed and wrecked and crushed, right? When then it comes down to all right, there's only a smaller amount. And you will have people that do like them. My opinion, I think they kind of dropped the ball with that one.
Oh yeah, they definitely did, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, people still like them, and that's their preference. They can like whatever they want. But I'm just saying, eventually, it's going to get to a point where there's not many around. Just like how it first started with a lot of the FCs, FDs. You know, one time there was a lot.
Back in like New Zealand and Australia, if you're a young guy or girl wanting to get into rotaries, an RX-8's the only one you can really, if you're on a budget, afford. You know, over here at least you can get into an FB and stuff like that for cheapish, right? But back there, right, it's all you can afford. But nothing handles as good as an RX-8, man. Like that handle outraced an FD all day, every day on the track.
I've never actually driven one. Yeah, I parted one out.
Yeah,
they would never do that again.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Yeah, the only thing good on them is the E shaft and the seats. Oh, and the gearbox.
yeah.
Those 6-speed gearboxes, 5-speed gearboxes,
and they all have like this. The airbag and all them always crack, and I can't figure out why would they do that.
I don't know. Yeah, I wonder if they'll bring out another one.
Revamp again.
Yeah, I think the emission laws and stuff like that. That's what ruined. It's the side exhaust port there on the RX-8. The emissions just ruined it.
But I think there's still enthusiasts out there that would just like to just have one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't see why not. Yeah. I mean, it's not like everybody wants to go to electric.
You see all the prototypes come out of the RX-9 and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm pretty one-eyed with my old school, right? I stick to the old school.
What I don't understand is after all these years, right, there's a big time lapse. Yeah. After all these years, I wonder if someone's actually like perfected, okay, would be the perfect engine that everybody would be happy with. It produces this much power, and you're not going to have as many issues, which they try to do with the RX-8, right? It was supposed to do 250, but then the engines, I think the first series was having tons of issues on it. So I'm not sure why someone hasn't just kind of went out there and be like, okay, let's redo this again, see what the issues and problems with all these years, and what's the best year they can do that.
The best year, though, is the one that gives off the most pollution. You know, like that's the problem, you know. Like we were at the racetrack last year, and the fastest car on the quarter mile was an electric car. It was fast, man. It was running 9 seconds. You know?
Yeah,
it's fast.
I like the speed, but at the same time, I don't like the way they look.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're fast at all. It looks like just some plain ordinary car, like the Teslas, basically.
Yeah. They're weird looking things, eh? They're weird looking things. All right, man. Well, I think we've covered a lot of things. Anything else you want to chat about?
Yeah, I want to know, like, what kind of cars have you gotten in that are just like really, really rare? I mean, I know, I think the rarest one I've gotten was a 60,000 mile 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
That one's gone. I'm not sure what you guys, because you guys are a lot different in the States. So,
some of the rare ones that we have, whether they're in the I don't know, you could call it the Riggs Vintage Mazda Museum, or if they're actually out on the yard. We've got an RX-5 Cosmo. It's pretty rare. It's a very rare car, actually, over here. The R100, we've got a few of them. I've got a nice RX-3 Coupe 10A front, an RX-2 sedan, which is also rare. What else we got there? Yeah, 1200 coupes and 1200 sedans. They're really rare from the 60s.
So I'm not too knowledgeable about those types. So
super rare, old.
Because I sometimes see them like this is RX2, RX3, and that's the badging, right? And then I see like a different one. Someone says it's an RX2, but the badging's not even the same. And I'm like, what's going on here? They changed the taillights in the back of them.
Yep.
So I'm not too sure about those.
So Series 1 RX2 in most countries has got square front headlights, single, and round taillights. Series 2's got the round taillights and the front twin headlights, and then the Series 3's got like what they call a dog bone taillight. Looks like a dog bone.
Oh. Okay.
And then the Series 4 has got the dog bone taillights too, but a pointy nose front, more kind of like an RX3 more. So there's the four different models of the factory models of the RX2. The RX3's got maybe 4 sets of taillights across the years.
I think that's the most popular one, right?
Well, that's what everyone likes. It depends where you are, but it's the RX3 is very.
Is there a reason why that one's more popular than the other ones?
Probably the look, really. Yeah, like the look. The
front grille.
Yeah, the front grille. They're real detailed, like a honeycomb nose and pointy grille and stuff like that. But they've got the Savannah taillights, the hexagon taillights, the teacups, and then the original 10A taillights. But then there's the 808s. They've also got like 4 or 5 sets of taillights. It's all in the taillights a lot of the time. And then there's the RX4, which is very rare. We've got a couple of them. But the most rare in North America, the most rare would probably be the RX-5, a very rare car, or the RX-3 sedan was very rare.
Do they hold their value pretty well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the Aussies, they love them, eh? And the Kiwis.
Yeah, I do business with them quite a bit, but the problem is the exchange rate.
Yeah,
kills it every single time.
And
the shipping costs.
Kills it, eh? The shipping kills it. We got a REPU, which are pretty rare. They made 15,000 of them. And then some piston stuff, like
people don't like that.
No, but a lot of these cars came out with the piston version. So an R100 came out with a 10A, but it came out with a 1200 engine as well. And then the RX2 came out with a 12A, but it came out with a 1600 or an 1800 engine called the 616 or the 818. And then the RX3 came out, same thing, with the 12A engine and the 10A engine, and it came out as the 808 or the 818. So Mazda gave you the choice back in the day. Did you want the rotary or did you want the piston?
Oh, from dealership.
You could pick either or. And they 95% the same car. It's just a few differences, but the drivetrain was completely different. And then the RX4 had the 929, and the RX5 was the 121. And then they never did it for the RX7. And they never did it since then, really. So when we get a lot of these piston vehicles in, they're almost as valuable as the rotaries.
Is there a lot of customer base for that one, though?
Yeah, yep. Because they're interchangeable parts, right?
Oh.
So trunk lid, wing mirror, like suspension stuff.
Do you see them converting that type back to the rotary more, or do you see it the other way around where they're just kind of taking parts off of that and putting them back onto the rotary?
Yeah, so what happened back in the day was quite common to take the rotary out of the rotary and put the piston engine in because the rotaries were all dying. And then But nowadays, everyone's putting a rotary in the piston engine cars.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they do the samurais.
Yeah,
In the States. Or
the Puerto Ricans,
they love them.
Their big tubbed out Suzuki Samurais.
They look dangerous to me once they start hitting like 700 horsepower. You're like, oh.
Short wheelbase, eh? Yeah. So what happened was, all these piston engines have given us it's given the rotaries a whole new build, really, because you just use all the trims. It's great.
That's good.
Yeah.
It saves the other ones.
Yeah, it's good. Covered a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, we did.
Been going for over an hour and a half now.
Not bad at all. I think obviously people don't like the piston rotors and those FDs, FCs. People get pretty upset. That's pretty controversial.
Oh yeah, man, especially FD. Those are the holy grail now. Everyone wants them.
You're 6'3", right?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you have a hard time fitting those FDs.
Yeah, I do. We've got to put the seat right back, but then I can't reach the steering wheel very well. I'm like way back, man.
I don't know why they did that to that year. I don't know why they made them so compact.
Japanese, really, Yeah. And they're just a two-seater too, really, sports car,
And I'm kind of, I'm only like maybe 6 foot, but I'm too kind of wide, and it's just cramped. Yeah. Your arms on the door there.
Yeah, everything's rattling. It's crazy, man. But man, I think we'll wrap this up.
Sounds good.
It was really good, man. I appreciate you taking the time out and having me down here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Matt Montgomery, everyone. Thank you very much.
Yep. Have a good one.